The small town of Ridgefield, Kentucky, clung to life like a faded photograph. Its factory shuttered, its storefronts peeling paint in slow motion. Billy's Diner stood as a relic of better days, its neon open 24 hours, sign flickering weakly against the gray sky. Inside, the air smelled of grease and coffee. The jukebox hummed off-key, and the checkered tiles bore the scuffs of 1,000 boots. Clara James, 32, moved through this world like a shadow. She didn't try to be noticed. With a brown apron tied tight and a ponytail pulled back to keep the day's weight at bay, she opened the diner before dawn and closed it after the last regular shuffled out. No one asked why she worked double shifts, and she didn't offer reasons. They traced back to a cramped apartment with a cracked window, a one-eyed tabby named Smokey, and a shoebox under her bed holding war medals, her grandfather's legacy. Henry James, a Korean War veteran, had raised Clara after her parents vanished into a storm of their own making. With a crooked back, a sharp tongue, and a heart soft as cornbread, he taught her discipline, dignity, and the quiet strength of doing right, even when no one clapped. "Honor isn't loud, Clara," he'd say, puffing his pipe. "It's like sweeping the porch before guests come, even if they never show." When he passed 3 years ago, she held strong at his funeral, not out of coldness, but because he'd whispered, "Stand tall, even when you feel small." Since then, she buried that strength deep, pouring it into her work, caring for Smokey, and paying rent on time, until last month. Her roommate lost her job, skipped out, and left Clara with an overdue utility bill, half a lease, and a landlord with no patience. Clara moved to a rented room above an auto garage, a space barely a step above a storage unit. One outlet sparked if she glanced at it, the bathroom faucet screeched like a banshee, and her savings dwindled to $64.38. Still, she rose at 5 a.m., walked to the diner in the rain, smiled at customers who left pocket change, and snuck Smokey a spoon of tuna from the break room. People called her a quiet girl, but they meant she didn't ask for anything. She didn't complain when coffee spilled on her shoes, didn't flinch at the cook's barked orders, didn't argue when her paycheck came light. Yet she noticed everything: the lonely irregulars, the dishwasher's unexplained bruises, the rain-soaked strangers asking only for water. Her life was a patchwork of small kindnesses and invisible burdens, worn without complaint. Late at night, holding Henry's dog tags and Smokey, she'd whisper, "We're okay. We're still okay." But the truth was, she was soul-tired from pretending, from watching injustice while standing aside. That Tuesday evening, rain pounded the windows, and the diner was quiet as a held breath. The door creaked open, and a soaked, trembling man limped in, his tattered military coat dripping. A faded U.S. Army insignia clung to the sleeve, his beard gray and patchy, his left leg dragging with bandaged wounds. His hands, calloused and scarred, clutched a paper bag like a lifeline. Clara, wiping a ketchup stain behind the counter, saw not a stranger but her grandfather. She walked over, towel in hand. "Evening," she said gently. "Can I get you something warm?" He avoided her gaze, voice cracking softly. "Just a cup of hot water, ma'am? Maybe a crust of bread if it's headed for the trash." Her breath caught. Those words echoed Henry's tale of a stranger's kindness in Busan, 1952. She nodded. "I'll see what I can do." In the kitchen, a returned order of chicken and dumplings sat under the heat lamp. She plated it with extra bread, poured black coffee, and returned with a smile. This was sent back, still hot. He stared, startled. "I can't pay. It's already paid for," she said. "Coffee's on me." He wrapped his hands around the mug. You remind me of my wife. She used to do this. Said everyone deserved warmth, especially those who've lived through too much cold. Clara blinked back tears. Across the room, owner Wayne Becker's eyes narrowed. As the man, Eli Turner, ate slowly, Clara noticed his straight posture despite the pain, his gratitude in every bite. When he finished, he whispered, "You just saved a soul tonight, miss. Might have been broken but not forgotten." He pressed a rusted dog tag into her palm. "Name's Eli Turner. If I don't make it through this winter, I want someone to know I existed." Then he vanished into the storm. The door slammed open. Wayne's voice cut through, sharp and loud. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" His eyes locked on the empty plate. "He was a veteran, sir," Clara said quietly. "I gave him food that was going to waste." Wayne's voice rose. "This ain't a charity. If people see us feeding street trash, they'll think we're a soup kitchen." Customers turned away, stirring coffee, avoiding her eyes. "I paid for the coffee. Take it out of my tips," she offered. "No," Wayne barked, slamming the counter. "You're fired. Pack your things and get out." The diner grew cold with silence. No defense, no support. Clara untied her apron, hands trembling, and walked into the rain, spine straight as Henry taught. Outside, Eli emerged from the alley. "I saw what happened. I shouldn't have let you pay a price." He pressed the dog tag back into her hand. "You reminded me I wasn't invisible." Then he was gone. That night, in her tiny room, Smokey curled against her. Wet clothes hung over a chair, and her bank account showed $42.12. Rent loomed in 10 days. But she felt a strange courage, tracing Eli's dog tag. Turner, Eli J., serial number F472, faded but real. The next morning, her world shifted. A teenager's grainy video of her firing went viral, but the comments were harsh. "Rules are rules." She should have asked. By noon, she applied to 3 diners. None called back. One manager said, "We can't risk the attention." Exhausted, she passed Eli sleeping under a bus shelter, left him half a sandwich, and whispered, "Thank you for remembering me." Unseen, a military vehicle watched, and a call was made. At 6:45 a.m., black SUVs rolled into Ridgefield, forming a procession before Billy's. A colonel in a pressed uniform stepped out, followed by 200 soldiers in full regalia. Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force, standing in silent formation. Inside, Wayne froze as Colonel Matthew Turner, son of Eli, spoke. "The man you humiliated yesterday saved my life in Iraq, 2007. He carried me 3 miles under fire, refused treatment until we were safe." He held up Eli's silver star. "He pawned this to feed a homeless family. The waitress who stood for him reminded me of the country he thought he'd lost." A corporal presented the pawned medal. "Bring her here." Clara, summoned by a reporter, approached as the soldiers saluted. Colonel Turner placed the silver star in her hand. "My father wanted you to have this." The diner closed, Wayne vanished, and Clara joined a veteran nonprofit, managing a new community kitchen. Eli found VA housing, and soldiers volunteered. 1 week later, a boy of 7 offered $1 and a cookie, asking to help someone else. Clara nodded, hand over her heart. Justice crept in slowly, quiet, steady, unstoppable. In her office, a box held a flag, a silver star, and Eli's dog tag. "Honor isn't loud," she whispered, echoing Henry. "Have you stood up when it was hard?" Comment below. Like, subscribe, and share with someone who values quiet courage.